Hello students, Jai Swaminarayan. This is Professor Urvish Mewada, HOD Electrical Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Part Gandhinagar. I am your subject mentor of testing and commissioning of electrical equipment, and GTO subject code of this subject is 2180901. Students, we are currently discussing the chapter number 2, that is installation of electrical equipment, and this is our lecture number 5. In last lecture number 4, we have discussed the important topic of your related to your GTU exam, that is alignment of electrical equipments, and how we can do a proper alignment between two machines, and what are the adverse effect of misalignment in the case of mechanical engineering, as well as the what will be the adverse effect of misalignment on the in the case of electrical engineering, that we have discussed in detail. Also, we have discussed the steps to follow a proper alignment between the driving mechanism and the driven mechanism, and also we have discussed the different driving mechanism, like a direct coupling and the rope driven means machines, and a gear driving machines, and the belt driven machines. So that we have discussed in the lecture number 1 of chapter number 2. Now today we will discuss this is our lecture number 2 for chapter number 2, and in which we are going to discuss the topic number 2, that is inspection, storage and handling of the transformer. So this is what the commissioning is what the inspection or testing of machine while we receive or while we purchase any electrical equipment from the vendors. So this is what we are going to discuss in this lecture number 2, and the topic number 2 is inspection, storage and handling of the transformer. So let us discuss how it can be done in detail. So in the case of transformer is what a transformer is a static device which transfers the power from one end to other end without changing the frequency. So transformer generally we use for a small means for residential purpose, for commercial purpose, as well as the industrial purpose. So we are talking about we are talking about commercial and the industrial transformer. That is, the size of this transformers are very much large, and we have to do a handle with care while we are receiving this transformer, or we can say transporting this transformer from one end to other end. And after transforming this the utility from one end to other end, we need to check the any faults, or we can say during transit any type of damage is done, that we need to check. So let us discuss in detail. So in this part, let us start with the inspection. So while we receive this utility at the place where we are going to use this transformer, so what type of inspection we need to do while we receive the large transformer at the premises. So transformer is dispatched from the factory in one of the following three conditions. The condition is: first, the transformer is filled with the oil after completely drying and is ready for the service. And second is, the oil is filled to cover the cover and the oil is filled to cover the core and the winding. And the third case is, tank is not filled with oil but filled with in inert gas, or nitrogen or dry air at some pressure. So these are the three possibilities condition where we need to dispatch from the factory to the premises. The first case is the transformer is filled with the oil after completely drying. So once it is completely dried out, then after it is filled with the oil. And second case is, oil is filled to cover the core and winding. So this core and winding is required the insulation, and for that we have filled filled this transformer with the oil, and the third case is tank is not filled with the oil, but in the inert gas or nitrogen is used, or dry air at some pressure that is inserted inside the transformer. So the first is, that is, accessories are dispatched separately in case of higher capacity transformer. So yes, if it is connected or if it is mounted on the transformer, then there might be then they will get they might get damaged during the transit. So yes, it is dispatched separately in the case of high capacity transformer, and there are possibilities of damage during the transit that I have already discussed. So it should be checked for damage after receiving it. So especially the following things are to be checked, that for the assurance of the a proper product that you have received from the vendor. So these are the things that you have to check. First is bent cooling tubes. Cooling tubes, check the cooling tubes whether it is bent during the transit. If it is bent, then it is very dangerous for the transformer if we use this transformer for our industrial purpose. And the second is damage protruding fittings. So some of the fittings will get loosened during the transit. That is, you have to check of the fittings and the damage of the fittings that we that have provided on the transformer. And the third is broken glass of the oil level indicator. If oil level indicator glass is broken, and then it is not, we can say, proper in the case of transformer. So from that we cannot easily judge the level of the oil which is present inside the transformer. So this three. And the next point that you have to inspect is, in the case of inspection, storage and handling of the transformer, is cracked or bent bushings. So bushings is what the which are provided on the top part of the transformer, we can say casing. And bushings generally we used to take out the terminals from the live terminals from the transformer. And bushings generally provides the insulation between transformer tank and the conductors that we are taking out from the transformer. So if the bushings are cracked or bent, then we have to replace that by calling the vendor, and it is the damage which is happened during the transit. So the next point, that is, you have to check, that is, loosen the bolt due to the vibration. So yes, during the transit it faces many vibrations if it is transported by road. So yes, you have to check the loosen bolts due to the vibrations. And the next thing is leaking oil if filled with oil. So yes, if it is filled with the oil, you have to check the leakages and leakaging of the gas if it is filled with the gas. So which type of insulating material which is filled inside the machine, you have to check the leakage of the, or whether it is oil or whether it is gas. Now suitable steps should be taken if the transformer is found damaged. So which are the steps that we should follow according to the vendor's manual? If these parts are we received that it is damaged, then we have to call the vendor, and we need to replace all the damaged parts before we use this transformer for the operation. So if the transformer is found heavily damaged, the manufacturer should be reported immediately before lifting the core and coil for the further inspection. So yes, this is the second step for the inspection, that we have to inspect the coil and the core. But if it is heavily damaged from the outer side, we need to immediately contact the vendor and wait for the representative of the manufacturer and the transporter means answer of this two members through which our instrument is transported. And if the transformer is slightly damaged, then core and winding are checked for the damage. So this is the second step, that we need to check the core. If during transit any damage occurs or generated on the core, or we can say winding inside the transformer, by lifting the core from the tank in the presence of representative of the manufacturer and the transporter. So this is been carried out in the presence of vendor, or we can say manufacturer, and the transporter. So this will be more effective and easy, because they need they this two members knows how to easily load and unload the utility from the transit vehicle. So the report of the damage should be made to manufacturer and the transporter. So whatever the damage is done during the transit, the detailed report you have to prepare, and you have to submit this detailed report to the manufacturer and the transporter, that we have faced, that we have received, means during received after the transit of the product. So it is not necessary to check the core and winding by lifting the transformer is not damaged. So yes, if transformer is not damaged, then this step is not necessary to check the core and winding. But if it is damaged from the outside, we need to check the core and winding, because if these two are broken, so this is the main part of the transformer. So you have to prepare a detailed report of the damage, and you should submit it to the manufacturer and the transporter. So these are the points which you should keep in mind during the inspection. And if transformer is filled with dry air, and if rust is seen, or moisture is condensed inside or outside the tank, if you see this type of problem inside and outside of the transformer, and if the color of the silica gel is found have become pink, so yes, the silica is basically a blue, and if it absorbs the moisture, the color of the silica will get changed, so it converts into the pink. So that shows that the winding has absorbed the moisture. So in such situation, process of the drying out of the transformer should be carried out. So this is how you can make your transformer moist free, and so that it will work effectively. So if you found such cases, or we can say such symptoms of like moisture, or we can say dust, or the silica, so you have to carry out the drying out procedure of the transformer before you take it to use for your operation. While installing the transformer, on sample of oil is taken. So while you install a transformer, if the transformer is oil filled, so the sample of the transformer is taken from the oil tank, and from the top of the conservator, means conservator where we put the transformer oil, and other sample of the oil is taken from the bottom, so from the mud cock, where we have the slurries and other contamination we received after certain use of the transformer. So from these two sides we take the sample of the oil, and the tank of the oil is tested for the presence of the moisture and the dielectric strength. So dielectric strength is required, because dielectric is nothing but the insulation between the windings and the conducting parts which are present inside the transformer. And if moisture, or we can say dielectric means moisture is present, or a dielectric strength is not proper, then we cannot use this transformer. So that's why we have to take the samples of oil to check the dielectric strength of the transformer from dielectric strength of the oil which we are using inside the transformer. If both the samples are found be without moisture, and the insulation resistance of the winding is satisfactory, there is no need to drying out. So yes, after certain tastes on the transformer oil, say transformer oil breakdown test, and if you found the dielectric strength of the oil is proper, then no need to carry out the drying out procedure. But drying procedure should be carried out once for an additional precaution. So if you want to take an additional precaution, you can carry out the drying out process before you take your transformer for the use in your use at your site. So um, these are the point that you should check for the inspection. Now the next important point is storage. So yes, if we receive a transformer and if we are if we are going to use after certain days, then we need to store it at a proper space where uh, we will not have any damage of the transformer while we take into the use in future. So there is a possibility of absorption of the moisture if the transformer is installed after some period. So yes, it is obvious that if we are going to use this transformer after some period of the time, then we need to we have to keep in mind the absorption of the moisture by the transformer. So transformer is brought to be a site when it is not when we are not using, when we are not going to use after a certain period, then it should prevent from the absorption of the moisture. And to prevent this, it should be filled with oil, and the breathing pipe should be closed. So breathing is a portion where transformer breathes, means when transformer is in operation, it breathes the cold air, and it maintains the temperature, means temperature inside in the transformer. We are having a oil as a coolant. So once we use a transformer for our like work or operation, so transformer oil will get heated up. So breather, through the breather, transformer breathe the cold air to maintain the temperature of the oil. So yes, we have to close the breather, because from the breather the moisture will get enter inside the transformer, and dielectric strength of the oil will get deteriorate. If the transformer has to be stored for a long period, then the tank should be emptied. So yes, we have to keep our transformer with empty tank, and the tank should be filled with dry nitrogen at some pressure. So yes, by keeping a pressure, by keep in mind the pressure of the nitrogen according to the strength of the transformer winding and other utilities which are present inside the transformer, we can fill it with the dry nitrogen, so that we can protect it from the absorption of the moisture and certain damages. And the transformer should be covered if it is be stored in open, so moist and other dust, etc. So we can protect our transformer by closing it with a proper utilities. So do not enter inside the tank. So yes, it is restricted, because entering inside the tank will be a chances to entering a moisture inside the transformer. If the transformer is to be dismantled and stored, then winding should be say dipped in the oil, and it should be kept in the dry room. So dry oil and means oil which doesn't have any moisture contents, and it should be kept in a dry room. So these are the points that we should keep in mind while we store the transformer. And the handling, so handling is again a most important point. So the transformer should be lifted by making use of the lifting lugs only. So yes, a proper lifting machines and a proper lifting devices that we use to lift the machine to prevent it from the damage, and all the lugs should be used together, so there is no unbalancing in lifting. So if unbalancing is generates or happens, then there might be a chances of damaging of the transformer from the outside will take place. So all the bolts of the cover of the transformer should be tightened before lifting the transformer. So this is what the handling is. And projection provided for us jacking, means if we need to lift it for a certain height, then a proper jacking should be applied, and use of the jack required to be it should never be placed under the wall or cooling tube. So yes, if we need to provide a jacks, so we should protect our transformer by a damage, because this is what the soft portion of the transformer where the wall or cooling tubes are there. So we have to lift our transformer from some other edges where these two are not present. And gasket must be used for a jack proof joint, sorry, leak proof joint. So yes, generally we use a gasket, means a rubber gasket, so that provides a leak proof joint. And a high grade caulk or nephron bonded caulk should be used if no recommendation is made. So generally we use such materials for leak proof joints. And surface should be cleaned with alcohol, naphthalene, or suitable cleaning and degrazing material. So such materials are basically used to clean the machine. And old gasket should be removed. Yes, it is get the material of the gasket will become brittle after certain use. So yes, if there is a old gaskets are there, then we should remove that gaskets for the proper joints of the utilities. So when the maintenance is being carried out, we need to replace the old gaskets with the new one. Now the next important point is installation of the transformer. So in the installation of the transformer, first of all, complete layout of the installation should be supplied by the installation engineer. So if we are having this layout, then we can properly install the transformer for its better operation. So the following the points we should follow for the proper installation of the transformers are: the first is the location of the transformer, where we need to place our transformer. Second is facilities of the maintenance. So in future, suppose maintenance is required, so proper arrangement should be there for the maintenance. Third is foundation. Foundation of the transformer is must be proper according to the weight of the transformer and the size of the transformer. And the next point is cabling. So cabling must be proper. It should be clearly visible. It should be clearly visible from the outside, and from we can easily see all the wirings of the transformer. It should not be hidden because of the maintenance purpose. So the next point that we should keep in mind: bushing and the cable box. So yes, we should take a proper care of bushings and cable box. So these two are the most important accessories of the transformer. So we should keep in mind the bushings and safety of the bushing and the electrical box, cable box. And fifth, the next point is connections. So you should keep in mind all the delicate connections of the transformer while you are installing the transformer, so it will not get damaged. So if it will get damaged, then we need to replace it immediately. Now the next point is protection against the risk of fire. So we have to install a setup at a proper site where we can use a proper fire extinguisher, and there is a no chance there may be a no chances of fire whenever any accident happens. Then the next is safety precaution. The related safety precaution must be taken in account while we are installing the transformer. So these are the points that we should keep in mind while we are installing a transformer at the premises. So let us discuss these points in detail. Location of the transformer. So if you will need to install a transformer at indoor site, so proper ventilation must be needed, because if transformer is installed inside, so after certain use, transformer will get heated up, and due to the heat, the inner temperature of the transformer oil will get increase. So we need to provide a proper ventilation as per the Indian standard rules. Transformer should be installed if there is a one side wall, then this is the dimension of the transformer from the wall. So you can see that 0.5 meter. And if we are having a two side wall and we need to install a transformer over here, so this will be the standard dimension that we should leave while we installing the transformer. If we are having a three side wall, then these are the dimension that we should use 1 meter from the all three sides. And if we are having a four side wall closed room, then we should use this type of dimension for the proper installation of the transformer, for the proper ventilation. And if the ventilation is proper, then transformer will work efficiently. Place must be free from the moisture, that is the most important point, and corrosion of tank and tubes, and the chances of the flashover. So if moisture is there, then the outer surface of the transformer will receive the corrosion, or corrosion will appear or generated, and on the tank surface and the tubes, and then chances of flashover due to the unexcessive means increasing of the heat inside the transformer. So there might be a chances of the flashover if there is no proper ventilation is there. So proper air inlet and outlet facility must be provided. Inlet at a floor level, and outlet is kept at high as possible, because we need to release some hot flue gases or hot air for the proper circulation. And if the outlet is kept at the low level, then the surrounding temperature of the machine will increase. So that is why we have to place our outlet of the nozzle where we are releasing the hot air. It should be kept at a certain height, so that we can release the hot air easily, and the inner temperature will not get heated up more. Now if we want to use the transformer is at outdoor side, these are the points that we should keep in mind. Keep in mind the surrounded atmosphere, because the transformer will get highly affected from the moisture and the contaminated air. So atmosphere of the quality of an air that we need to check while we are installing at outdoor side. Then bushing should be cleaned periodically, so that the flashover is prevented. Bushings are generally made up of porcelain, and if there is a contamination on the bushing, then there might be a chances of treeing and tracking of the bushing, and the chances of flashover will be more. So that's why we have to keep it clean as possible. The second point that we should keep in mind while the installing the transformer, facilities of the maintenance. So this is a point that we should consider for the future operation. And in future, that should install at a place where no difficulty to carrying out the maintenance. In other lifting and proper maintenance amenities are necessary. When suppose a crane is required to lift the machine, then there will be a proper space to install a crane and to lift the machine. So this is the point that is most important while we are doing the maintenance. And outdoor accessories can be easily monitored. Yes, so breather, thermometer, and oil level indicator, that can be easily seen, because it is routine maintenance. It is a part of routine maintenance. So it is if these are easily visible, then we can do the proper maintenance. Then position of the drain wall is at adequate place, so that we can take out the samples of oil where we require. So there will be no difficulty to take out the samples of the oil for the to check its dielectric strength. And the third point is that is foundation. So foundation must be proper. The foundation, simple foundation is sufficient due to the static machine, because transformer is not a rotating machine, and it will not get vibrated as a rotating machine. So simple foundation is adequate, and strong, leveled, and dry foundation is advisable for the foundation of the transformer. And then place on the it will place on the concrete plinth when placed outside. Choose adequate height considering the maximum flood. So if there is a place where chances of flood or anything else, or we can say more water means submerging of the water is there, then we should place it at a specific height, so we can protect our transformer from the water or flood. Now the next point that we should keep in mind during the installation is there should be not crowding of wires on the equipment. It is placed separately with proper casing and cappings, or we can say it should be properly visible according to the diagram. And poles of the transformer should be strong and should be capable of bearing of the weight of the transformer. If we need to install a transformer on the pole, then poles must be a good enough strength, must be a good enough, so that it can withstand the weight of the transformer. Then necessary guy wire which is used for the pole supporting. Generally we use guy wire on both the side of the transformer to support the pole. means for H pole mounted substation, and should be provided to prevent the bending of the pole. So this is the necessary thing to support the pole of the transformer where we have installed our transformer. So necessary guy wire is needed. Double pole H structure should be used. Generally we use H pole mounted substation. So H pole is a pole where we will get a proper balance of the transformer, and we can install a transformer at a height. Then sufficient space should be provided for climbing. So if in future the maintenance is required, then climbing facilities must be provided, and anti-climbing devices like barbed wire should be provided. So the unauthorized person cannot climb pole. So yes, this should be necessary. If unauthorized person climb the pole, then there might be a chances of accident over that place. So this should be keep in mind while we are installing the transformer. The next point is cabling. So the cable trench in the substation should be filled with sand, because it provides the proper insulation, or pebbles, or should be covered with the fireproof slab. So that provides the insulation against the fire. And the minimum spacing of 150 should be kept between two trays. So yes, the cabling trays are there in the substation. So this is the standard distance that we should keep in mind while we are using the cable trays. More than one tray are used for the cable laying, then we should provide a spacing, say 150 between each tray is advisable to protect our system and utility from the danger in future. Now the power and control cable should run in one tray, and DC cable, AC cable, and cables of instrument transformer should be run separately. So this is advisable to protect our transformer from the harmonics. The next point, that is bushing and cable box. So yes, check cracks on the bushing when it is separated from the transformer. Also check the gasket position so that we can protect our transformer from the flashover. The paper insulated cable has to be connected generally. Then the cable ends should be sealed to prevent absorption of the moisture. This is the most important point. If cable will absorb the moisture, the insulating property of the cable will get deteriorate. Also the erosion of the cable will take place at the joint, at the place where we are joining the cable boxes should be fixed with the oil, filled with the oil or components of making compounds after making the connection. So this is the necessary. So it is filled with the oil so that it will not absorb any moisture. Now the next point that we should keep in mind, the connections. So connections are the medium voltage. For medium voltage cable or open wires can be used. Metallic casing, fittings, sheath armoring, these are the essentials of medium voltage cabling that should be properly earthed. So this is the most important point. And no joints are allowed when the metallic casing is used. So when metallic casing is used, and if we we use the joints, there might be a chances of leakage of the current when it touches to the metallic body, and it is danger for human being also, that is who is working over there. Now the in the installation of the transformer, the next point, that is for the first was the medium, and this is for the high voltage. So for high voltage, paper insulated lead sheath and armored aluminum cable or other suitable cable should be used. When high voltage is high voltage side connection are to be done using the insulated cable. So these are the points that we should keep in mind while we are laying the cable or connecting the cable with high voltage. All cable boxes, metallic sheath and armoring should be properly earthed. So it is for the we can say proper operation purpose or safety purpose, that we should keep in mind that all the boxes and metallic sheath and armoring that are made up of metal, that should be properly earthed. So future risk can be overcome. So the open connections, basically open copper and aluminum conductors are to be used in medium and high high voltage substation when the value of the current is high. So these are the conductor. Basically we use ACSR conductor. Flexible or rigid type conductors basically used for the open connection. So cross section is rectangular or circular, may be possible according to the requirement. And when aluminum core ACSR conductors are used with copper terminals of transformer, so a suitable bimetallic conductor should be used to prevent the electrolyte corrosion due to the connection of two different metals. So generally we connect two different metals, there will be a say erosion of the material will take place. So that we should keep in mind when we use the ACSR. The with ACSR conductor are used with proper, or we can say copper terminal of the transformer. So both materials should be different for the proper connection of the transformer. Now the next important point is protection against the risk of fire. So oil filled switchgear should be kept sufficiently apart so that the fire cannot be extended, because switchgear due to the quenching arc will be generated. So this will kept apart to for the protection purpose of the transformer. And other unit, when the unit catches the fire because of the quenching of the, or we can say operation of the switch gears, so it should be kept sufficiently apart from the transformer, and separate enclosure should be used if possible. So due to this separate enclosures, we can avoid the flashover between the live parts. And the fire resistance wall should be used between the two transformer and two section of the switch gear. So it is necessary because whenever the fire means fire is fire generated, or we can say fire is there, then we can protect our other utilities from the fire. So fireproof wall should be provided between each utilities. Then remote indicator for fire should be used, also remote control switching provided. So this is for the protection purpose. Where we receive a fire, we can operate our utilities from the remote. We can check the condition, and we can operate our utilities from the remote end. Suitable fire fighting equipments and water sprinkle system should be installed, so that if accident happens, we can reduce the chances of injury and the loss of like life. The next point that is you should keep in mind, that is safety precaution. So installation must be shock proof, and metal parts should be earth. So yes, that is what for the safety is. And if it is properly earth, then earth full relay will get operated, and we can save our utilities from the high discharging of the current. Transformer should be enclosed, and the other and one door should be provided, so unauthorized person can enter. So yes, this must be keep in mind. Transformer should be enclosed properly, and one door should be provided, so that we can use it for the operation and maintenance. So this is how the inspection, installation, then storage and handling of the transformer. And if you have any query and doubt after this topic, you can contact me to solve your queries and doubt related to this topic. And this is what for the lecture number 5 is. And if you have any further query or doubts, we can solve our doubts and queries in our doubt solving session. Till that, thank you very much, student. Jai Swami Narayan.